Gustavo, please confirm. Afternoon or good evening, independent of where you are watching from and the time zone. Welcome. My name is Solange David. I am from Brazil, and I am chairperson of Women in Energy of CIGRE International. It's my pleasure to be here in this webinar. Before we start, I would like to introduce our moderator, Dr. Biljana Stopkowska from the United Kingdom, who is the Vice Chairperson of Women in Energy. Biljana is an expert in grid integration of renewable energy. Women in Energy was organized by CIGRE in 2014 with Dr. Huomei Li from China, and we are celebrating 10 years in 2024. Currently, Women in Energy has representatives from more than 30 countries throughout the world. Several representatives are participating with us. This special event is organized by CIGRE-Brasil, and I would like to thank the board of directors who gave all the support for its implementation. I also thank Carla Damasceno, chair of Brazilian Women in Energy, and the organizing team of this webinar. Today is a very special and important day, and it marks the International Women's Day as recognized by the United Nations. In 2024, the United Nations chose the following theme to debate. The theme is Investing in Women, Accelerating Progress. Investing in Women, Accelerating Progress. The objective is to encourage the investment of resources in gender equality resources. In fact, every day represents a process of work, dedication, and commitment by women to search for a more inclusive participation in any given society and the world as a whole. We gathered today in the webinar to speak about the energy transition and transformation, and to take a look at diversity and inclusion. As a result of this, we are honored to have special women. Dr. Biljana Stopkowska from United Kingdom, the moderator of this event, Dr. Huomei Li from China, who was the first chair of CIGRE Women in Engineering, today Women in Energy, Dr. Kazi Dayoka from South Africa, who was the second chair of Women in Energy, and Dr. Elia Ganon from Brazil, who is the president of Brazilian Wind Energy Association and vice president of the Global Wind Energy Council, GWEC. To hear our speakers, I will give the floor to our moderator. Please, Biljana, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Solange, for your introduction. I think it's my great pleasure to be attending and moderating, helping with this event. As you said, today is an important day for us women in engineering and women in general. It has been only the 100 years when the women has opportunity to vote, so it's not a long time ago when we have all the rights. And it's very important to celebrate and mark the day every day, but 8th of March is giving us a great platform to talk about women in energy and women in engineering. Without me talking much more, I would like to give the floor for our first presenter, that is Dr. Elia Ganon from Brazil, to start with her presentation. And yeah, Elia, please, have a go with your presentation.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you for invitation. Congratulations for this very important initiative. I'm so happy to be here with a lot of friends. I'd like to say thank you for Solange and I'd like to say congratulations for all of us because today is the International Women's Day. And it's very interesting to start my day because here is 9 o'clock, yeah? And I start my day with this conference. Thank you. I have a presentation, then I will try to share, yes, if I can, because all the time it doesn't work. Let me try. So of course, we will talk about some subjects about Women's Day, about gender inclusion, but I will talk about gender inclusion in context of energy and electricity, to share our experience with this. And I think it will be a good discussion. So I think Solange, again, doesn't work. If someone can help, Gustavo can help me to share my slides because no work again. All the time it's working, doesn't work all the time. So thank you. As I start to say, it's very important to share some data about the wind industry and put this wind industry in context with women inclusion, with ESG policies, with climate change and the energy transition and just energy transition. I believe this is the most important subjects about the current discussion in the world. Then I'd like to start with data from wind. So Gustavo, can you see? Or I think there are delay here. Yeah, let me talk about, let me start about the Abeólica. Abeólica is an association from wind onshore, wind offshore, and the new technologies like green hydrogen and the storage. We changed our brand in 2022 in order to include wind offshore and the new technologies like green hydrogen, in order to follow the new, they say that I say this is the new law for the world. It's about energy transition and the low carbon economy. Wind has been increased a lot in the last year. Since 2020, I'm a vice chair in Global Wind Energy Council. There, I have a good opportunity to discuss energy transition and the renewables in the whole world. And I can discuss about climate change. I have been in the last 5 years very achieved in COP21, COP22, and the
International Women's Day.
Sorry, there are someone is talking together. So can I go for the next slide? Slide, please. Yeah, I'd like to show how wind has been increased in the last years. In 2023, we got 1 terawatt installed capacity in the world. That day, we launched a very important study to show that to achieve or net zero in 2050, we need to invest 3 times more in renewable sources than we have been doing in the last years. And we have a big challenge because we need to include more investments in renewable in general, and of course in wind too. In COP28, that it took place in Dubai in the last year, we got, it's a very good news, we got inclusion, a testing in the resolution from in COP28 that we put the necessity to increase renewable 3 times in order to achieve net zero, as I said. So let's go to the next slide, please. We see that the most important economy in the world has been investing in wind. China, of course, is the first one. When we talk about onshore, China is the first one, United States the second one. But what is nice, it's good to highlight here, Brazil is the third country in amount of investments in the last year. Brazil is a very important player in these investments. When you talk about the install capacity, Brazil is the 6th economy in the world that produce wind. We increased a lot in the last years, or increase for wind was so fast, and mainly in the last years. In 2023, we got a record in install capacity. We installed 4.8 gigawatts, and it is a record about 2022 that we installed 4 gigawatts. So the next one, please. There a point that's very interesting to highlight is about Brazil is a very renewable country because we have hydro plants. We started electricity in Brazil more than 100 years ago with hydro plants. In the start of this century, our metrics was basically hydro plants and about 10% with thermal plants. In this century, we started to change and to mix our metrics with biomass and with wind. Nowadays, our metrics is very diversity because we have wind and solar plants. Our electricity metrics is 84% renewable. But when you talk about to produce electricity, in 2023, 93% of electricity produced was from renewable. It is a very big competitive advantage in Brazil. So the next one, please. The install capacity for wind has been, as I said, increasing so fast. It is exponential increase. And nowadays, we are with 31 gigawatts in install capacity. Probably we will finish this year with about 33 gigawatts in install capacity. The next one, please. In 2030, we will get more than 30 gigawatts in install capacity. So how we think about our opportunity in Brazil? We know that we have a very big source. We have a lot of sources like solar, wind, hydro plants, biomass. And Brazil is a really hot spot in the world when you think about capacity to supply energy solution, renewable energy solution for energy transition for low carbon economy. But Brazil has a big challenge when you talk about society. we know that Brazil is a developing country. Brazil has a very big gap, social gap that it needs to take care. Then I believe that the energy is a very good opportunity to change this reality in Brazil. I believe if Brazil notice and prepare and make policy to change the economy, the opportunity is right, because energy is a base in economy, it's an infrastructure, economy and base, and it can transform the society because can increase GDP. But it's not only increase GDP, it can make a very good distribution about revenue, about GDP, and this can reduce the social gap that you have. I have been talking, I have been worrying about that. Brazil will not only propose and create energy transition with your sources. Brazil has a very big opportunity to transform the society. Then I used to say it's not only energy transition, it is the big transformation energy, and it can make a big transformation in society. It's not the energy transition, it's energy transformation. Let's go for the next, please. Why we have opportunities? Of course, as I said, we have very abundant sources. It is a very competitive sources, but I believe that the ESG agenda is very important. ESG agenda, mainly after 2020, started to be so dynamic here. This is an important point because a lot of companies will change the productive process. The consumers will change the bigger consumers, like tradable companies, will change the system for production. We have opportunity in electricity mobility for vehicle cars, and we have opportunity to produce green hydrogen. For this reason, new technology is important. There are other point that's important is about economy recovery. Brazil surprised us in the last year because GDP increased more than we expected, 2.9%. It's important. I believe that we will increase and recover economy in the next years. And we have opportunity to export, mainly when you talk about to produce commodities. Brazil is a big country that produce commodities and make switch process in production, as I said. For the next one, please. But how we can put in context gender diversity and inclusion? We know that there are cultural process when you talk about gender equity and the inclusion. We have a big economy. We have a lot of women that has been prepared to go to the job market, but we know that it's necessary to provide some policies and change the mindset of our companies to increase more women and make inclusion. But I believe that the policy in the whole world and experience that you can share, like this conference and the other opportunities that you have shared, and we are able to discuss this kind of subject, has been increasing our capacity to make changes and to make a difference. Then I believe that female empowerment, improved decision-making, improved and innovation can help us to propose and to create the opportunity to gender equality. The next one, please. When you see the last studies and survey, we notice that despite of the speed, it's not the speed that we'd like to see in gender inclusion, but we see that the renewable sector has a better situation when you compare with the other sectors, because 32% in renewables is a female force, and it's important. And the traditional sector is 22%. We see that, and I used to say recently, I have been saying that the renewable sector is modern, is fashion, and has been attractive and create more opportunity for women. I have been in this renewable industry for 13 years, and I can see a lot of change. As a professional in this energy industry for 24 years, I noticed that how the world changed, how things change in the last 10 years. I'm so happy to see this. I know that we are not in the right place that we'd love to stay, that we intend to stay, but I can see that there are a lot of initiatives and a lot of discussion and consciousness about this subject, and it has been increasing a lot, the speed in gender inclusion. For the next one, please. Here in Brazil, we have a lot of initiatives. We see our companies with a program for women. We have a very interesting case that I will highlight here. Our company, IS, is an American company that has investment here in Brazil. Created the first farm that this farm is exclusive women operation. There is no man there, only women. We created this program here in Brazil. I'm so happy to take a part of this process, and we created programs to train these women. And in the last year, we launched this wind farm that there are only women in operation. It is fantastic. We are so proud about this. We have a company that has been inclusion like Engie. Engie is a French-Belgian company that is a big here with investments. They are putting a lot of initiatives in order to include women in the system, and it's very important because we don't think only about to create women leaders to put in C-level, but we are thinking about base too. And the Neo Energia, it's Iberdrola Group, is a Spanish a group that there are a lot of investments here, create a program for women to training technology program for women to be electricist women that are operation or farms too. It is so nice. So the next one. I created 3 years ago with other friends Energia da Transformação, because I believe, as I said, we can transform our country, our society with gender and the diversity in general. And you are creating this program in order to show the initiatives, like the initiatives that I show you in the last slide, because you want to increase this. My friend Agnes Costa, that are ANEL director, and Francelle, that work in KPMG, we worked in this initiative that wanted to increase in the next years in order to create a place to show and create more dynamic initiatives. So someone has talked with me. Well, my dear, thank you for invitation. I will stop here. I'm so happy to be here and available for some discussion on question. Thank you for opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Elia. This was a great presentation and great insights. I think we should really go with the second speaker now on our agenda. Do we have Kaya with us to give us a presentation?
Hi, Viana. I am available.
Excellent.
Start.
Yeah.
I promise I won't be long.
Okay.
Please turn on
Been a
your
long
video.
week already. Yes, I'm about to. Let's do that. Let's see if you can see me. Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you. Maybe, yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. I will share my screen just now. Hey, are you able to hear me and see the screen?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I think today I would like to congratulate all the women, actually, right, of course, from like everywhere that we have come this far celebrating of International Women's Day under the theme Inspire Inclusion. So I would really like to speak to that. Inspire inclusion, what it means, as far as energy transition and transformation is concerned. I've mentioned that I'm not going to be long. That's mainly because I think for me, all week is about data and graphs. And so on a Friday, I do not want to talk about data and graphs, and mainly because it's also readily available. So how empowering women through energy transition and transformation? What is it that we as CIGRE women in energy?
Sorry, Kaya, to interrupt for a second. Can you come closer to the microphone? I cannot hear you very well. Or the closer to the microphone. Yeah, better. Yeah.
Try that again. Is it
Yeah,
better?
that's better. Yeah, better. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Okay, that's perfect. So I would like to cover more on empowering women through energy transition, more about, aligning it with Inspire Inclusion. What does it mean with the theme of today, which is the International Women's Day? What are we trying to achieve with all these women in energy, women in engineering, all the forums that have been formed? We're trying to inspire inclusion. So what does that mean in this world where now we are talking more about energy transition? So you're not going to get graphs on energy transition, the transition from my side, but I'm just going to try and align it with what it means to inspire inclusion.
We can't see any slides, Kaya. Is that hello? Do you need any help from our administrator? We can't see the slides.
Yes, yes, please. If you can also share the slides that you have.
Yes.
If that's
Solange,
possible.
can we get please a help to Kaya's slides?
Yes, I will try to help Kaya. Only a minute. I don't have your presentation, Kaya. Sorry. Can you try again to share?
Okay, I'm going to try again. Let's see if that's gonna work. Okay, I see the slide now, and I can continue. Just need
Yes, we can
confirmation,
see.
Glenn. Okay, perfect. So, firstly, what is energy transition and transformation? We have spoken about it. We are talking about replacement of fossil fuels with renewable energies, and different countries and different sectors have their definition and how they are going to do this. In the energy space, we are talking about the conventional coal, all these fossil fuels that have been used. I've made an example with the ESCOM one, which is I think this is a picture about just over a year ago, where over 87% of our power comes from conventional energy sources. And that, the plan is to change that picture, where you have approximately about half of it coming from renewable energies, while we would still have the energy sources coming from the conventional sources like coal, and then with some percentage for energy storage. So this is basically the picture of where we are going. And when we're talking about energy transition, which is also the development of new technologies, the technologies are going to facilitate this transition, this replacement of fossil fuels with renewable energies. The technologies that are going to facilitate even the electrification. In Africa, we know that we've got a problem with electrification. The bigger part of Africa is without electricity. So while you're trying to electrify it, you're also thinking about clean energy technologies. How can we fast track electrification of rural areas, but at the same time, bearing in mind that we would like to do it in a cleaner manner. Digitization, how can we be able to now do our work remotely with less, people going to site, traveling, driving, so basically what you want to do is you want to electrify the vehicles that you are bringing in new technology. You want to be able to visually see the equipment. If you're a substation engineer, you want to be able to do the inspections that you would have to go to site and do those, and then to be able to do your data analysis remotely. So we are saying in this space of energy transition and transformation, there's a lot of opportunities that are there for any energy engineer, for any engineer for that matter, to be able to find where it is that you can actually fit in as an engineer, whether you are a woman or you are a man. Now, the problem comes when now we would want this energy transition to actually be defined by a specific gender, which is, I think, this is exactly why we still have, our women forum. It is to address the issues that now in digitization, in electrification, we are still seeing the same faces that are the drivers. Why are they the same faces that are still driving this transition, this transformation? Because then it is no longer any transformation. What transformation are we talking about if it is one-sided and it's still driven by the same people that that have been in the industry, that were perceived to be the engineers, the drivers of such technologies? And when we talk of women empowerment, we are saying now that we have this forum, we want to inspire inclusion in the development of these technologies, for women to feel their sense worth, to say, I am the engineer that can actually drive this transition. I am the engineer that is going to drive this transformation. And I have a right, and I have a right to have and to determine the choices of the technologies that we're actually going forward, because I've got a different idea on how I want to solve the issue of electrification as a woman. The challenges that I face as a woman is going to drive the solutions, my innovation towards getting, or rather resolving the problems that I have as a woman, which is why most of the time I say, when you come to the boardroom, you bring yourself, you bring your unique perspective to say, what is it that I, as a woman, think is a challenge for women in this space, and what kind of technology can I bring? What kind of innovation can I bring about in order to resolve the issues that even women within energy are actually having problems with? I will give an example. We spoke about the technologies that you can actually bring into the space. If you have a problem and you think that what drives women away from going to site and be involved in the field work is the driving to site, it is the long time away from home. But we're talking about now digitization. You can still be the engineer that does all the analysis, that is able to actually visually inspect your substation when you are at home and you're still present within the family. So you haven't had to let go of the side of you as a woman in order to be able to fulfill this engineering requirements, or rather what it is that is required in order for us to transition as far as the energy space is concerned. So this is basically the space that women in energy, women in engineering forums are to drive, to say, you are the right candidate to be driving that as yourself. Don't get to the table and be transformed, and now you are supposed to see which direction is the table going, which direction is the table making decision towards, and then all you're doing, you are a number that is there to say, yes, let's go this direction. But how does it serve women within that space? How does it make women more attracted to that space? Are we even visible as women engineers? How do we have young engineers that are coming up and saying, I would actually like to be an engineer like Ms. So-and-so? That means they can associate themselves with somebody that is already doing that work. Or we also want to make it look as hard as possible can. So all these solutions, all these energy transition plans are going to go ahead with the same mentality that even when we're developing all the fossil fuel energy sources, how to get energy from them, that same mentality we're carrying forward. If us as women engineers are not saying, here's the technology, this is how you can actually make it work within the space of women in engineering. We've spoken about these challenges a lot. We've spoken about barriers. This was to build a baseline. This was to say, with these challenges that we've spoken about, how can we ensure that the environment is conducive enough for engineers to be able to, female engineers, to be able to work in that space, to be able to be attracted in that space, to associate engineering with women. We're not doing enough of that. And if also, when we come together, we're actually bringing the same problems that, or rather the same discussions that we could have brought in a broader community. We are actually just an extension of any other engineering forum, and therefore we did not need to have a woman in engineering. So we are here to inspire inclusion. How can we inspire inclusion? In energy transition, this is exactly how we are transitioning within the energy. And this is where you can come in. What are your challenges as a woman engineer? And how can you participate actively to ensure that the next generation does not encounter the same problem? So what are the commonalities between the two? If you are looking at women empowerment and energy transition, and this is my last slide, it's really the implementation versus plans. I did not want to put specifics there because there isn't many. There's plenty. We've spoken about it. Implementation of the plans. We have planned that by this year, we are going to have so many women actively participating in the energy space. This is what we are saying every year. So what is it that we have really done, or rather that we are doing to ensure that when we say, in order for you to be able to have women participating in this space, give you an example, CIGRE. We are at CIGRE. CIGRE says there's a call for nomination. Please get experts to come and be involved. Women in particular, there is flaws. Why are we taking long to respond to that? It's a challenge that I'm putting out today, because we are supposed to be jumping at such opportunities. This is how we are accelerating implementation. This is how we are ensuring that it's not the same people that are doing the same thing. Why I'm saying the same people, I have looked at the statistics. Year after year, we are hovering around 20% in the energy sector. So women have been plus minus 20%. We are not growing at a rate at which we're supposed to be growing in that space. Yet, when we go back and you look at the intake even for science, there are enough of us to be able to grow in that field. So what is it that we are not doing? These are the challenges I'm putting out there so that we can be able to inspire inclusion effectively, not keep changing the plans and revising plan 1 and we call it plan 1B. But now that we've said in order to get to this plan, to inspire inclusion, what is it that we need to do? And these are the things that the kind of discussions that we need to be having, and to be honest with each other to say, by this day, why are we not responding to this? This is what has been put out today. This is what we are doing to ensure that we are getting enough participation from women within the energy space. And in so doing, we are actually diversifying the decisions that are being taken in the energy transition and transformation space. So we actually need to go out there and ensure that there's a balance between the implementation and the plans that we have on paper. I have seen numbers and I've been shocked at what's under the numbers. And so I am a numbers person when it comes to my transformers, and everywhere else, I need to dig deep in those numbers and see what is behind the numbers so that we can actually work with real numbers. So with that, I would like to thank you, and I hope you, wherever you are going to inspire inclusion for women in the energy space. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kaya. Very inspirational as always. Thank you so much for your contribution. We are really pressing by the time, so I would like to invite Rumeli to give her presentation so we can hear from her. Rumeli, are you there, and can you start? Hello, Rumeli, can we hear you? Hello? Rumeli, are you there?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay. Hello. And
Yeah,
what is yours? Please go.
yeah. And I have sent my presentation to you already. Okay. If you, because my computer, I don't know, had a problem, cannot connect to Zoom. So now I use my mobile. Yeah. And I send you several times. Have you received my PPT? If you received, could you please use it? Yeah.
Hello, Solange. Can we put the slides for Rumeli on the presentation?
Because I use my mobile, so I send my presentation to you. You can operate it. In my computer, I cannot join your Zoom. I join the Zoom by mobile.
Okay.
If
I asked
cannot
Hi, Rome. I asked the organization in
use
order to share the presentation of Rome. Organization, maybe you have the presentation, the Rome's presentation, please. Gustavo, do you have the presentation, or Natasha, please? Or maybe
I think, Solange, maybe we will have an issue technically to go ahead with Rumeli over the phone and
just to give a few minutes. Yeah.
maybe while you're working
I
in the
have prepared for
background.
that internet problem. I just see me. No problem. I have sent my presentation to you already because there is the say I spend maybe 5 to 6 minutes to give my some point of view. Is all right?
Okay.
Can you hear
go
me?
ahead. Yeah, don't use the slides, Rumeli. Just maybe summarize. Yeah, that would be great.
I just give the summarize because
Yeah.
I think is a network is a link. Okay. Can I
We can
speak?
see
Can you
we
hear
can
me?
hear you. Yeah, you can. Yeah, please.
Yeah. I just say this year is 10 years we start the WIE event. Actually, the task force started from 11 years ago. And in the steering committee meeting, because I've been in the steering committee from 2005 to 2014, totally 9 years. I'm also the council member on behalf of National Committee. And in that, the steering committee meeting in 2013, in the May, this meeting was held, is my hosted in China. I give my point of view. Yeah, next page, please. Next page. Yeah, I give my point of view that said we should, next page. Okay, yeah. This just my short brief CV. Next. Yeah. This is the history. The work, the task force started in 2013 because I make suggestion we should make the activities to attract more women into CIGRE and also to increase our membership to make our organization more influential. The leader, the president, and the TC chair, and the secretary general, yeah, they all support me. There is some argument, but not serious. They all support me. So we start the task force. From that time, only 6 months, no, just around half a year, and I have prepared, with negotiation with his headquarters, prepared the design of the next event in 2014, and give the presentation in the Denmark STC meeting. In that meeting, I give the two suggestions. One, to start the CIGRE event or lunch or dinner or session. Second, to have the Women Award, but the award not approved. The CIGRE, the women event has approved and supported by headquarters. And so, it's just during the session in Paris, give us 2 hours and a very good, photographer make the record. Totally, we have the 51 people joined and make all the record. I think it's very good. The 7 speakers totally, they all just 5 minutes, 8 minutes, very short time. And more than half time, not a session. We just talk each other, communicate each other. Yeah, it started very good, have a good feeling. The next is 2016. I'm the co-organizer, mainly organized head by Mark, TC chair, and Rachel from headquarters. I think it's done very good. Both, Diaka and me, both of us are speaker of that. The third one, during that time, I organized 2 CIGRE events, and I invited TC chair and our previous W chair, the Canadian Diaka, to be the speaker in China twice. But the third, the fifth one, in the 2018 event is most important because there is, the people say 200, but I think is about 150 or 60. We have the 21 speakers, different paths, and it's a diversity, And also I invited 10 people, including the TC chair of Brazil friend, that accept our interview after meeting, and all put everything in the media to make a promotion. I think this one is the best one. And then I would give, after that, next year, our Miss Diaka and take over WFE chair, responsible for the next 4 years. My experience for the organizing events is firstly to choose the good topic, should be a little bit different, should be attractive to our people, our women. And the second, we need to think more about our attendees to make them think the time is there, benefit for them, not just the speakers. We should give them more opportunities for our attendees to speak, give the voices, and have the time to communicate. And the last one is to have the joint photo and provide a name list because of the history. I think thinking more about our attendees' feelings and give more opportunity for the speakers and make the multiple topic, to the mainly theme, but they can speak the multiple background, they make it a diversity. And the last one, just my experience for women engineers is women, we have actually the most potential, the big one, largest potential energy, because human being is the largest energy resource. We can give 10%, we can give 100%. How? It's just that we need motivation, inspiration. We need opportunities. Lots of people, they are achieved, make successful. They can have got opportunity. And don't our target is help more WIE, more engineers, not just focus on our leaders. Okay, so get more people, and we get more of them to the international organization. We provide the platform for them. So I think we should thinking about the good way to give the inspiration to our community. The last one I say, we need to recognize the people make contributions. Like my assistant, is a young man. Later he got the award from CIGRE. He supported me, helped him a lot. Philip and others know him. Is if we don't recognize people, always take others, just follow, just want to, it's not fair. And it's a different way, multiple way to recognize. Thank you. I finished.
Well, thank you very much. Because we are a little bit behind the time, I would like really to do a few questions to our great speakers. And if I can start with the first question for our first speaker, Elia from Brazil. So it was really good to hear, your perspective of offshore wind in Brazil, and a lot of women involved in the sector. Would you summarize for us what are the biggest challenges that you've seen in introducing women into the energy sector and offshore wind, particularly in Brazil, and what you would give as advice for going forward? Elia, are you there? I can see only Romerly, but it will be good if all our speakers can go on camera so I can see you. Hi, Kevin. Elia, are you there?
I think you just ask our leader, new leader from Brazil, right?
No, I'm asking the presenter, the first presenter. Okay, while we are waiting for Elia, okay, if that is a little bit in technicalities, can I go to you with my question while you're here? So you were talking about a lot about unique leaders, about authenticity of the leader. How would you say women in engineering, women in energy should build the confidence? What would be your advice? You're a confident young lady in energy sector. What would be advice for the ladies on the call?
You build confidence in the doing, it's in the experience. That's why I believe that you should, as a leader, you should take others, build others, introduce them into tasks help at the background, but let them also have an opportunity to learn. So it is in the doing that you're actually gathering that confidence and experience. And so if we were to, in our forums, we actually have more of these young female engineers participating. This is where they are practicing leadership. They are practicing, speaking, public speaking. They are practicing to lead, even organizing a conference for that matter. They are practicing to go through papers and say, well, this paper makes sense. This paper has so much information. This is how you actually write papers. So it is in the doing that you are able to gain confidence.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you, Kaya. Question for Rumeili then on your presentation. Thank you very much for pointing out that doing conferences is important for the people who are attending, not only for us. Can you give us your perspective how Women in Energy is doing 10 years after you set up this organization? What's your feedback? Are we doing okay? Should we do improvement? Any insight from your side? Rumeili, can you hear us? Hello, Rumeili, can you hear us? Hello? Maybe we lost Rumeili over the phone conversation or over the phone link. Solange, I don't know what's happened with Elia. I think we are well beyond the time we planned.
Yes.
Hi, Rumeili, are you there? Can you hear us? No, that looks like
I think the connection is not good. It's
yeah.
not working.
Okay. Okay, Elia, I don't know where Elia is. I had a question for her, but I can't reach to her. So, in general, I from my perspective, in the interesting presentations on seeing how women are contributing to offshore wind in Brazil. Kaya, of course, very strong on unique leadership and authenticity and how to build the confidence. And Rumeili, it's always good to hear from her that when we're doing these events, we need to think about the audience, put ourselves in their shoes rather than just focusing on the speakers. And I wanted to hear her perspective. Are we getting better in our approach, or she thinks we need to do better? Anyway, Solange, I think you probably is the best place to close the conference. I have no questions anymore, and thank you for the opportunity, and I hope that was beneficial for the people on the call. So thank you from me, and I'm giving the last words to close the conference to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Liliana. I want to compliment you and the excellent presentations and the questions. It was great to hear from all of you. We must think that female protagonism still has many challenges, of course. There are several issues related to women's representations and the diversity of experiences and perspectives that you brought enrich the debate and offer, of course, valuable insights into the role of women in the energy sector and in a broader context of transforming society itself. I think that we need to believe that we will help create better conditions for everyone in a society. Oops, sorry. We need to believe that we will help create better conditions for everyone in a society with more justice and equality, especially for future generations. I would like to thank you again to our speakers and our moderator, and we thank you all for being here and for this webinar. Have a great day and see you.
Thank you very much. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.